We turn now to another Republican candidate. South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham joins us from New York. Senator, I want to ask you about Donald Trump. He says that you attacked him and you went nowhere. He attacks his rivals and he either stays solid in the polls or even goes up a little. What do you make of all that?
You know, it's pretty hard for me to understand where this thing is going with the Donald, but at the end of the day, what he said about Senator McCain I thought was out of bounds. But here's the state of play. Our leading Republican is embracing self-deportation, that all the 11 million have to walk back where they came from, and maybe we'll let some of them come back. I just hope we don't go down that road as a party. So our leading contender, Mr. Trump, is going backward on immigration, and I think he's going to take all of us with him if we don't watch it.
And let me now switch to the issue of foreign affairs. You've, in some of your remarks, say that we don't need to elect another novice as commander-in-chief. Who, in your view, among your opponents, would you say is a novice?
Well, I think I got more experience than anybody running. For the last decade, I've been to Iraq and Afghanistan 35 times, 140 days on the ground in Iraq and Afghanistan as a reservist. Jeb Bush is a fine man, but his plan to destroy ISIL doesn't have a ground component. It is really not a whole lot different than that of President Obama. If you're not willing to commit more American boots on the ground in Iraq, from 3,500 to about 10,000, if you don't understand we'll never destroy ISIL in Syria without a regional army of which we will have to be part, you're not ready to be commander-in-chief, and really nobody on our side seems to be willing to put a plan forward that truly would destroy ISIL, and they need to be destroyed. Look at what al-Baghdadi did to this woman in Arizona. If I'm commander-in-chief, we're going after these guys and go after them hard until they are destroyed, and it will take an American ground component to achieve that goal.
You've talked about your experience, but when you use the word novice, I mean, are all the other candidates novices in your view?
Well, they need to make the case that they're not. I can tell you what I've been doing for the last decade in terms of foreign policy. I've learned from my own mistakes. I've learned from President Bush's mistakes, President Obama's mistakes. Senator McCain and myself have been more right than wrong. We warned President, do not leave Iraq without a residual force. Helped the Free Syrian Army 3 years ago when it would matter. We were standing by him to take action against Assad when he used chemical weapons, and the president failed to do so. I don't see anybody on our side coming up with a robust plan that truly would destroy ISIL. And if we don't hit them there, they're coming here, according to the FBI director and the director of national security. So on our side, I really don't see anybody. Marco Rubio's been good on foreign policy, but you've got to realize you're not going to destroy ISIL without a ground force.
You mentioned he's been good on foreign policy, but he has about the same experience on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee that President Obama is, and you're saying that's just the thing we don't need again.
I'm saying the last thing we need is somebody who is not ready to be commander-in-chief on day one. 33 years in the Air Force, 35 trips on the ground in Iraq and Afghanistan. I know what works and what's not working. The President Obama's strategy to destroy ISIL is failing miserably. You can't do this from the air. The Kurds are not the ground component. We need to go into Syria. Without Syria being fixed, you're never going to fix Iraq, and they're coming here.